Laura is in Hobbs, New Mexico. Hey, Laura, how are you?
Hi, I'm very well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Yes, sir. I have a landscaping and construction business in southeast New Mexico, and we also opened up a retail nursery for plants and trees and a rock yard last year.
Wow.
Our 2023 gross was just a touch over $2.2 million.
Way to go.
And our net was $272,000.
Mm-hmm.
We kept 75 take home and we invested 40, and then we kept the rest in the business for retained earnings to buy inventory.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How can I help?
Well, since we opened the retail shop, it increased our sales substantially. And this is our 5th year in business. We have run into other little landscapers cropping up over the years that way undercut us in pricing, but they aren't licensed, they're not insured, and they definitely don't do the high standard work that we do.
Well, they're not getting your customers. Your customer doesn't want to work with a jackleg. They work with a pro like you.
Right.
So they're not real. They're not competition. They're mosquitoes. They just bite.
This is kind of what our contention is. My husband and I, we run this business together. He's more the on-site everything, and I'm the design / bookkeeping, everything at the retail yard person.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we're kind of rolling around with the idea of kind of stepping away from the installations because of this.
Because of the mosquitoes?
Well, kind of. This last year was especially tricky with the margins there. It costs us a lot for payroll because we're in the heart of oil field.
Mm-hmm.
So
it costs the mosquitoes for payroll.
Yeah. But our construction side is always busy. We have people booked a year out. And the hard part with that is we only have 4 on that crew, whereas the other, 12 to 14, we carry around 16 to 18 employees at a time, are on landscaping. And we can't find enough skilled workers to meet that demand, which is where we would kind of like to chase in conjunction with the retail yard. But I don't know. We aren't sure if we should keep juggling everything and just keep at it. And maybe our high costs and high expenses over the last year having to develop that new land that we bought for the store, if it's going to even out eventually.
Okay. Well,
we are debt-free.
The landscape installation and the construction are service businesses. So by their very nature, they're higher margin than a product-driven business. The yard where you're selling rocks and plants, you've got a cost of goods sold there that you don't have in the other. And so if you don't manage your margins and your inventory turnover in that environment, in an actual hard products retail situation or even wholesale situation where you're running product in and out of that yard, it's going to eat you alive if you don't keep your inventory turns straight and make sure you got good margin, good gross margin on each one of those plants.
Yes.
And each one of those rocks, okay? And that's a merchandising type mindset versus running a landscaping project is a service and project mindset. It's a different business skill. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So the only thing that the store and the landscape installation have in common is they both have to do with plants. But business model and operations and systems do not overlay on those two. They're both very unique from each other. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. But construction and landscape installation is very similar in terms
That's
of the
how we got into it.
Yeah, the actual process. And so you don't have inventory carry. You're just managing project by project. You're cost estimating. You estimate your costs. You do the bid. You do a final when you finish and look and see if you actually hit. Did I estimate my costs right? If I did, then my profit is correct. Is what I thought it was going to be per project. And do I need to adjust my prices, or do I need to manage my costs as I go along? Quit buying some dadgum many tools and stuff like that. That's all. Your project cost managing. Each job site's a separate P&L, in other words. Those are, it's easier to make money on that than it is the other thing, probably.
Well, that's what we're kind of finding, especially because with the landscaping, customers don't realize all the skid loaders that we have to have, the man lift.
No, I'm saying the landscaping and the construction are the same. You should be able to run out your job cost on that and say, this is what it costs me to run this job. And I've got my profit built in, and I've got my cost of goods, cost of plants, I got my cost of labor, I got the cost of the skid steer being here, and it's what it takes to run this job. And if a Mosquito wants to underbid that, they're going to lose money on it. They can't undercut you
because
they
go out of business eventually.
Yeah, they do. Because they can't even do math. Okay, they don't make it because they're we're losing 25 cents a watermelon. Let's get a bigger truck. It's like, God Almighty, these are idiots. So, but that's what you run into. But you cannot decide that you want to try to figure out how to compete with people that don't know how to run a business. I don't want to. That's not even on the table. All that matters is, can I acquire high-end customers who want to pay for a proper design, proper installation, proper labor, people that are clean and they're doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, they're not over there, offending all the neighbors and everything else with their whole routine. Can you do that? Yes, you can do that. You've done. That's how you built a whole business up to this point. You just gotten frustrated with some of these little jacklegs kicking you around. But I think you need to raise your prices a little bit and raise your target on your customer a little bit. Some customers, if they want to cheap out, they may not be your customer.
So maybe just that's funny that you say we should raise the prices.
Yeah, I don't want you to get in a race to the bottom with idiots.
Right.
And you can do that real quick in this situation, emotionally, just because it pisses you off and you want to run them out of business. But I wouldn't do that. I would go so far up over their head where I'm dealing in a different stratosphere where they're not even welcome in that neighborhood. That kind of thing.
Okay.
And so that changes your margins, and because if somebody's building a $5 million house or a $2 million house or whatever, they are put in an office of that size. They don't want to deal with this. A commercial contractor of size is not going to deal with one of these people because they don't want the drama, the hassle, all the whining about it costs more and I'm over budget, and all the stuff that goes with somebody that's a jackleg. Any of us that have been around construction know these people. And if you're doing a high-end project of some kind or a decent-sized project of some kind, we're building these huge commercial buildings. The commercial contractor on that wouldn't even let the guy on the site like that. He wants to talk to you. That's a different type of competitor.
I think we're getting both. And I think what we're finding is, the
okay, if you had your perfect world 5 years from now, which of these three things would you be operating? Which two of them?
Construction and the shop, for sure.
Do it. Redeploy your assets into the shop and into the construction. Pick up more construction jobs. They're more fun. You started the whole thing doing landscaping, but you're sick of it.
Right.
You're tired of it. Y'all don't want to do it anymore. I mean, I can tell that from talking to you. It's not fun anymore. Even if I could tell you how to do it right, you don't want to do it. It's not fun.
Right.
You don't. I don't know about your husband, but I know for sure talking to you, you don't. So, redeploy your labor back. Let them go or move them into one of those other two areas, and let's jack up and double the construction staffing and get it going because you're backlogged on that, and it sounds like you're having fun and making a profit. And then make sure you're dadgum doing your merchandising, Laura. Make sure these products aren't killing you, that you're not selling these stupid rocks at a loss.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yep.
Really lean in on that spreadsheet. Really lean in on that accounting system on that and make sure.
Well, and that was a secondary question. So we did get a new POS system last year to go along with
Good.
QuickBooks, which was a smart move. It was costly, but it was worth it for tracking inventory.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you know that you need to get out of QuickBooks?
You probably do. You probably need to get into NetSuite.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you're running $2.5 million. Yeah. You probably push QuickBooks to its edge already. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah. And I hate buying accounting systems. I've only bought 3 or 4 in my 30 years because it feels like it's throwing money down a rat hole, But every time I upgrade my accounting system, it upgrades my controls and it upgrades the quality of information I get on my desk to make decisions with. And when we put in NetSuite, I think it was about 3 years ago, we moved to NetSuite, or maybe 4 now. But anyway, it's like 1,000 times better than what we were running before. The amount of information I've got as the CEO at my fingertips now to analyze and look at something like the product line and like our bookstore on our store online at RamseySolutions.com. We've got books and we've got Ken Coleman's assessments. We sell live event tickets, and that's a merchandising operation like yours is. It's a POS operation, and to get into that and make sure our margins are right and our pricing is right, it takes 10 seconds now because it interfaces with the software that's running the store. And it feeds the information right up to everybody that's making the decisions. So yeah, you need to spend the time and the money on that if you're going to be in the store business, because the store business is much more complicated, and people screw it up much more often than you do job costing on a construction site.
Right.
But you can do both. You're capable of doing both. Yeah. So here's the thing: the business is too stinking hard to do something you hate doing just because you used to do it.
Okay.
So get out of the landscape business. You're sick of it. That's what I would do if I were in your shoes. Hey, you guys are amazing. You built something pretty cool in Hobbs, New Mexico, down in the corner. I mean, that's neat. Way to go, kiddo. Keep fighting, keep scratching, keep clawing. We're here to help you. We love you. We're proud of you. We want you to win. Keep it up.